Gentlemen. Hey, John. John, your mic ain't working for some reason. Oh, it's muted. There you go.
Because I'm a
Everybody's
smart
muted.
guy, yeah. I keep
That's
it muted.
freaking genius. How are you, John?
It's good, but that way you can't hear what I'm saying about you.
Yeah, well, I can always appreciate that. That's for sure.
You can read lips.
I stopped listening to people talk shit about me a very long time ago, John.
But you still have to hear it.
It's probably kept me alive. Dearson's in the pool. Fan flippin' tastic.
What's up,
I'm
fellas?
just changing things up. We're trying new things this week, so fuck it.
What are you smoking? A blunt?
This thing called Durban Poison. Pretty good.
What is it? It's a cigar? It's
No,
weed? What is it?
pre-roll weed. It's legal
That's
here.
pretty funny.
Good
That's
stuff.
pretty funny. Yeah, you know, it's legal here too. And
Is it?
well, I'm in Canada.
Up here.
And so we went and got some of the gummies because somebody told me they help you go to sleep or whatever. But I figured I'd take one recreationally and it put me to sleep. So fan flippin' tastic. Thought the same
It's good.
effect it had on me 25 years ago when I quit. Just had to check and make sure, you know. What are you in, a floaty?
Ice cream. Yeah, I got my water wing.
Ice cream truck, ice cream.
That's got to be McMean with the ice cream
What's
truck.
up, guys? Yeah, that's the little Mr. Stoffy across the street
Okay.
from me right now.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I've got one sitting here.
Somebody's doing
and then I
business.
think by that time I'll probably have some other ones that have shipped. So that
Oh, I just muted him.
Stop
It was
lying.
Seth.
You got nothing that's gonna ship.
It was Seth. I muted him. Otherwise, you frickin' people will all steal his gig.
Hell yeah. What's the phone
Take it.
number? Actually, we got no gear left, so more gigs
Really?
won't help. Yep.
Yeah,
I think that's-
just did another order that has to ship from Vegas.
Yeah, I just shipped for 2 out of Orlando to go to Boston.
Yeah,
So is the bigger problem now gear or people?
both.
Both. Absolutely both. Absolutely both.
Really?
Yeah.
Equally.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, McMean, how many guys you looking for tomorrow? All
I just need one more.
right, I got a couple guys I'm waiting on phone calls.
Yeah. My Facebook post hasn't panned out yet.
I'm trying, buddy. I'm trying for you.
I know.
So look, Dearson, you can now rag on me for drinking pussy beer from another country.
What is that?
It's basically
Molson.
Mick Ultra made by Molson. Molson Ultra.
Yeah, okay,
No-
well, whatever. It's a
No
beer.
calories, no flavor.
It's about flavored water.
Trying to drink earlier.
Yeah,
There's
it's
the
only
ice
3
cream
o'clock.
truck. Who wants ice cream?
Yeah, I'm drinking Corona Lights. I can't really complain.
Yeah. Where are you, Chris?
I'm on the corner of Broadway and 32nd on Korea Way.
Okay.
Are you hooking again?
Hey, you know, you gotta pay
You
the bills
need-
somehow.
We're in live events. You take it where you can get it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Yep.
as long as I'm a top, I don't care.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I want to read you guys something, but I want to actually wait until we got a bunch more people here because it's kind of cool and important and a drag all at once. But something that somebody sent me, a production manager out on the road.
Oh, it's not about NAM.
No. Why? What happened with Nam? Please stop.
Canceled.
Get out of here.
Postponed.
Yeah,
Postponed to
till
June.
Till June.
Yeah,
And then what do
June
they do?
in
what
LA.
do they-
They canceled the summer show.
Right. So now we have no summer NAM, just winter NAM in the summer.
What the heck?
And it was OC approved. Orange County was the one that shut our auto show down as well.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Right, Eric? That's the same thing you got, right? Loader?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't want that many people in the same location. They said, no way.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
making
drag.
friends.
Yeah,
Hey,
there's-
everybody.
How
Hey,
many
Marshall.
people attend?
I hope you don't lose me. I'm going to go out on the patio. I'm here on Fire Island. The service is dodgy, but I didn't want to miss the reunion. I'm so happy
Hey.
you started this again, Marcel.
Well, don't get carried away.
Oh, come on. You know,
So far, it's one of one. Don't get too excited.
Well, we're looking forward to two.
No, it's fun. I like doing it. I actually
And have-
missed a few of you. Gypsum, what the heck are you doing, buddy?
Hey, friends.
Yeah,
I'm just working in Cleveland, Ohio.
with.
Immersive Van Gogh still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No tours yet.
No, our two acts that we do pushed until next year, like in the beginning of the year.
Right.
So
Did you do Vegas? Because the Immersive Van Gogh, I think, opened here.
my B team is doing Vegas, so Tyler Roach and another couple guys are out there.
Tyler Roach is on a B team, Marcel.
Well,
True.
and Vegas is the B team over Cleveland,
Yeah,
under
well, hey,
Cleveland.
we try to choose the
think we should
the
be
more
offended.
difficult. It goes by spaces. It goes by complexity. Vegas is just a big square room.
I can't
Cleveland is
wait.
an old-
I
an
can't
old
wait.
factory.
I can't wait to tell Tyler that he's considered the B team in Vegas.
Oh, he knows. He
Fun.
knows.
Yeah.
He was just
that's
excited because he could get his Rimwoa suitcase repaired. That's what his biggest concern is right now.
Hey, Rob, just keep in mind, we got teams out here in Vegas that can help you out whenever you need it, man.
Appreciate that.
Certainly, Mr. Dearson looks like he's at the pool
Yeah,
today.
he could use a gig.
Yeah, I think he's covered.
Looks
Right.
like he has a gig.
Just
We
came
got
back.
a lot of people ready to work out here for you guys, so.
We're gonna have
You
to
know.
start a GoFundMe for Patrick. Is that your new house, Patrick?
It's a temporary one, yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's a temporary one.
Temporary
You
one.
left the apartment?
Patrick, that's quite an image of you.
Get in.
I like it.
On an inflatable ducky,
Uh-huh.
smoking a doobie and drinking a light beer.
Oh, my water wings.
Life of a designer, right?
Or at least the top 5.
Friggin' awesome. So, did anyone here go to Plaza?
Mm-mm.
Might have to wait a
I
bit
was
longer.
supposed to.
I saw
I
some
was
awards getting
supposed
handed
to,
out.
I had to bag out.
Yeah,
I saw Chavez won an award for one of their lights. But other than that, that's all that's come across my world for Plaza. We're just
Yeah,
waiting for all the.
I've seen a ton of updates and stuff, and I talked with Loader about it yesterday. The general concession is that it was relatively lightly attended, but pretty high quality attendees. A lot less exhibitors, and I think that's sadly the near future of trade shows.
What do we think about LDI out here, Ellen? Are we taking registrations and stuff? Are you running it, or who's
Well, we
running it?
definitely are doing a show. Registration is picking up daily. We're really looking forward to it. So far, Vegas is not making any noise about, asking people to postpone, so.
We're
Yeah.
still under a full mask mandate indoors. Hopefully, by the time we get to, we're in November, I believe,
Yeah,
this year.
Yeah, right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's, I think that mask mandate will probably be lifted by that time. I don't know what Patrick's heard, but, we're working outdoors and indoors. But all indoor facilities are still required to be masked by the governor. So hopefully by November, we'll get that away and we'll all be able to get to the spaces.
Who knows? Masks are on, masks are off, masks are on, masks are off.
Well,
know.
are are you guys planning on going back into North Hall, Central Hall, or South Hall?
We're
or
in the
new hall?
central, we're in the central hall.
Or in Central again? Okay.
Yeah. And
Well,
next year, if it's out open, we're supposed to go to the new building.
yeah, I mean, I haven't even been inside the new building yet. But I'm told that it's beautiful.
Well, they've
Uh,
postponed the opening. There's nothing there this year.
Oh, okay,
But hopefully next year it'll be up and running.
okay. Well, anything you need contract wise right here, I'm here.
Okay,
And
great.
Lots of time on my hands.
Great, thanks.
By the way, just while I have a moment, Marcel, what you guys did the other day, I didn't get to go live, but the Red Alert Restart anniversary was really
Yeah.
great. to watch. I really appreciated
Yeah,
that.
thanks. It was
And-
fun.
You know, even though I wasn't technically a part of all of that, it was still good to see all you guys get back together and all of us really come together and see what we did. And by far, Bubbles was the most hilarious thing.
I would have to agree with you. My personal favorite.
But yeah,
Hey,
we're
Nils.
surviving.
Nils,
We're
the,
surviving here in Vegas. Things are starting back up again. Tours are starting back up again. So we're starting back up. We're ready to go.
Cool.
So,
Nils, the Burning Man thing was freaking unbelievable.
Oh, thank you.
Unbelievable. So cool.
You know, the whole thing was pretty crazy. I mean, just at a high level, getting 20-some thousand people to self-organize and just make it happen without any central function at all. I mean, there was this group called Plan B, and they put up a little map and they tried to get everybody to place themselves on a map, and that was it. And, you know, I was talking to the sheriff on Saturday night, and at that point they'd had 2 arrests the whole week.
Wow.
You know, and in a normal Burning Man, it would certainly be well in excess. So it's just, it came off really well, and it was just kind of like a random thought, you know, to go fly drones there. I've been wanting to do it for a while just because that desert is like the perfect canvas for flying drones.
Yeah.
And then this year became the year, and what happened is we just filled this void. You know, there's no art, there's no Burning Man. And so we just made our own man, and we flew a bunch of art, and people loved it. It was really, really cool.
is there a video of it? Is there a video that we can see?
It's
of it
all over
anywhere?
YouTube. I mean,
Okay.
it's a bunch of low res. The videos aren't so great. There is higher res, nice video coming, but it just hasn't been released yet. But there's a lot of cell phone video and stuff. So just do, you know, Burning Man drones or something on YouTube, and you'll see all kinds of things come up.
Yeah, it's so cool. Hey, sorry if I'm muting people, but I'm trying to figure out who's got this wicked feedback. So I just keep muting people one by one. But
I thought I was talking too much, Marcel.
no, it wasn't just you. There was 4 or 5 people. I'm just looking for any open mics and trying to figure out who's. Oh, it was McMean. Aha!
Of course it was.
We found the culprit. It was McMean. It's the
It's
streets
not
of New York.
feedback. It's just the streets of New York,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah. No, it's just background noise. Yeah. So that was. How is that accepted there? Like.
Well, it was crazy. I mean, like the whole range. I had literally people crying on my shoulder. I had people in amazement. I had people just going bananas, people with gratitude. I mean,
And
you
probably
know,
people going lame. It ain't a fucking burning dude or whatever,
no,
right?
actually none of that. I think, you know, the man himself, you know, I mean, this is almost like a religion to some people, right? You know, and there's ceremony and there's so much around it. And so they've been burning this man, you know, for 25, 30 years or whatever. And this year there was no man and there was just a void and nobody was expecting it. Like we hadn't told anybody we were coming. We just showed up and started flying art. And then, you know, for Saturday night, when they normally burn the man, we managed to get some of the art cars to make a circle so we could have a safe perimeter. And then we flew an art piece and then we flew the man. And everybody just, when they saw it, they just like went crazy because nobody
That's
knew it
super
was
cool.
coming.
That is friggin' super cool. Well done. And that was just your idea. They didn't come and say, hey, you should do this.
Well, there's no they.
Yeah, that's true. It was just self-organized. That's so weird.
Yeah. So no, I
Amazing.
mean, we've been doing some work with Studio Drift, a Dutch artist group who had previously flown some drone stuff with Intel, and they did a piece called Franchise Freedom that they've flown a few different places, and then just got bored of working with Intel, and we've been collaborating with them, and they're great people. And so, you know, their artists came up with a bunch of ideas, and I've got one of my young guys who was really, really helpful in terms of creating the content. So they collaborated on some things, and you know, it was a crazy production because, you know, out in the desert, everything is a lot harder than it is, you know, in any urban environment where you have access to resources. You have to be completely self-sufficient. So, you know, there are a few challenges, and there are a few things that didn't go 100%, but things went almost 100%, and it turned out really well. We were really happy with it.
That's really cool. Good stuff, man. Loved it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what's everybody got going on here? What's exciting?
Hi guys, I'm driving home.
Well, that's exciting.
I launched a podcast last week,
What podcast?
Heartbeat of the Dance Floor. The website is called heartbeatofthedancefloor.com. The
Cool.
podcast is available pretty much everywhere. YouTube, on the video of it. I've got 3 that are out. Have 2 more set to record in the next week and a half. And so la-di-da, there you go. And
That's
Marcel and Patrick, thank you for the tips. I trademarked the phrase Heartbeat of the Dance Floor. So that's pending registration now too.
Well, and
Very good.
probably just like Geezers of Gear, that'll make you about nothing. So
Hey, right now it's costing me money, but it's a labor of love. So
it's
there you
it's
have
the
it.
same reason I do it. It's the same reason I do it.
Yeah, you know,
Great, Marcia.
look,
What's it about?
I can honestly say I've gotten a lot of inspiration from, you know, this whole thing and the interaction, and, you know, much to my chagrin, I'm finding myself involved in social media and the internet in ways I never wanted, but it's fun.
Yeah. Cool.
What is your podcast about?
Tune in. It's on Facebook too, so you can catch it on my profile page on Facebook.
Awesome.
What is it about?
You know, there are a lot of different components, as we all know, to make a super special event. And it's not always coming from one direction. And I'm trying to explore different avenues of how we try to achieve perfection, or what I would call magic, in our industry, whether it's from the music, the venue, the people, a myriad of things. So I'm trying to bring a lot of different perspectives into it.
Cool. Congrats. Good luck on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's very cool. So I wanted to read this email, and I just have to find it again now. I don't know why I'm getting so many emails when I'm supposed to be on vacation, but not everyone agrees with that process, I guess. Oh, this is terribly exciting. I can't find it. Oh, there it is. So it's a little bit long, so I apologize in advance, but it's a production manager, friend of mine. Some of you would know him. I don't really want to mention his name or the tour. He sends me an email. Hi, Marcel, I hope you're well. I'm doing okay trying to navigate touring during COVID. We went on the road end of June, came home August 1st. Everyone on the tour, band, crew, and drivers, all vaccinated. After a month on the road, 8 out of 20 of us, all who were vaccinated had gotten COVID, including me and 3 band members. So 8 out of 20 got COVID, fully vaccinated. We had to come home for 3 weeks to let everyone get healthy. Company lost quite a bit of money due to cancellations. The crew and I obviously lost money sitting home for 3 weeks. We went back out late August, came home September 4th. We all managed to stay healthy this time. We're scheduled to go back out September 10th for a 3-week run. Touring during COVID has added a whole new element to my job. I'm now the COVID police on top of being production manager. I have struggled, been fuck you'd and physically threatened in certain parts of the country for asking people to wear masks. I've been yelled at by promoter rep in the Northeast because my whole crew was wearing masks during load-in. He said we were scaring him and the local crew because of our masks. He said all the locals were vaccinated, so why did we need masks? At the time, he yelled at me and my front of house guy was 4 cities back in a hotel room in Jacksonville where I had to leave him in quarantine because he tested positive in Florida and was vaccinated. I've been fuck you'd for wearing masks and fuck you'd for asking people to wear masks. That was in July. The August shows, we just did things a little better, but I still took shit from people that I asked to wear masks. There are still uninformed individuals who think that because they're vaccinated, they can't get COVID. We know firsthand that's not the case. We have changed our touring protocols and will not work with any unvaccinated people on stage, backstage. Everyone must be masked at all times. We do not eat with the local crew. We do not allow the venue staff or local crew anywhere near our dressing rooms or production office. We're masked at all times. We social distance from the local staff as much as humanly possible. We spent $10,000 on air purifiers that travel with us. We set them up daily on stage, in stage wings, in the dressing rooms, production offices, and on buses. We're trying anything and everything to keep safe, healthy, and working. COVID has taken much of the fun and joy out of touring. Getting off the bus every morning is stressful, as I really don't know if I'm going to get people to go along with our health and safety protocols, or I'm going to get fuck you'd and threatened. I've actually thought about going home, but I've made my living on the road for so long that I'm not sure what I would actually do if I went home. I'm not sure what the answer is. I fear for the touring industry. I believe we all need to operate in some fashion that allows us to continue to do shows. I think everyone needs to be masked to work and or attend a show. I don't see anything else making sense. I'm currently home, enjoying the peace and safety of my home, where no one fuck yous me or threatens me while I'm trying to do my job. I look forward to getting back out on the road, but part of me is also dreading it. I hope everything's good on your end. So weird, I mean, not weird, but sad, depressing, frustrating, annoying. I don't know what you guys think about that message.
Wow.
Powerful.
Marcel, I know you don't want to say who it is, but can you say what size tour it is?
Sheds. Full sheds. Yeah, I mean, it's a you know, it's a 15,000 seat band, 10 to 15,000 seat band. So
That's gotta be really hard, trying to separate the locals and the, two catering. and-
yeah,
Can we print masks that say "fuck you"? I'm wearing a mask. Get over it.
yeah. Well, you know,
Yep.
I
You can say,
think we
I'm doing it to protect you.
yeah.
Yeah.
As with everything, it's about how you react to it. It's a tough thing, and it's a part of our lives for the foreseeable future. But you're going to run the gamut of these types of situations. You've got, in this situation, they're desperately trying to protect themselves, and then they have to go to sheds. I just came from 85,000 people on Sunday at a festival. The teams had to come in and out. People just did what they felt they needed to do to protect themselves.
Right.
And everybody acted accordingly. No issues whatsoever.
And Lost Lands is happening next week, which from what I understand, they cut from 8 stages down to 5 stages. But we got another gigantic festival going on where, this is going to be a problem.
Well,
I was with Susan Rose last Thursday at the Melissa Etheridge gig in Albany, and it was a small venue. It was less than 1,000 people. But the venue itself had a mask policy. They didn't care about vaccinations one way or the other, but if you were inside the Performance Arts Center, you had to be masked, period, and that was the protocol. But it seemed that Susan was pretty comfortable on the tour. It didn't say, I met a couple of the production folks and nobody seemed like totally wigged out. But again, they're dealing with a 10th the size of the audience that some of you guys are.
Yeah.
Right, but it's funny that he's getting fuck you'd everywhere, because I bet if it was a hard hat situation, everybody'd be wearing hard hats without telling him fuck you.
Yeah.
You're
It's so
absolutely
easy.
right, because everybody
We're all
wears pants, too.
professionals. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, that shit's
Well,
just rude.
What about
Well,
I'm up in
Sorry,
Canada
Marcel.
right now, and I've been having conversations with a good friend of mine up here who's in pharmaceuticals, and there's a new test that's just been approved by the Canadian government, and apparently is very late stage in approval in the US. And it's a 2-minute spit test with very, very, very high efficiency and, or what do you call it? Reliability, whatever. It's like 99% accurate.
Accuracy.
Yeah, that's the word. And, you know, I happen to think that that solves a lot of problems. You know, if you can better test people, because, you know, I know way too many people recently who are vaccinated and still got it. And yes, it lessens all of the symptoms and stuff. But if you still get it, it's still an issue, right? Your number still counts. You can still pass it on to someone and all of those things, right? So the vaccine alone isn't going to solve it. I don't know that the vaccine and the mask is going to solve it. Obviously, stopping shows and stopping people from coexisting in the same room probably could solve it, but how long is that sustainable? We've learned. So I don't know, maybe testing is an answer. I have no idea.
I got it in Scottsdale about 3 weeks ago. And it was gnarly. It knocked me out.
And you were vaccinated?
Yep. Been vaccinated since April.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. But it only, like, the symptoms, I felt really bad for about 48 hours. And then it was kind of just playing, you know, staying quarantined until you could test positive. And that was about 7 days. But it put our load in behind, obviously, because I couldn't be in the venue to get things done. And then it was like the mad race to figure out how to do things remotely and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was crazy.
What's
in Arizona, Scottsdale, it's like COVID doesn't exist.
That's Florida.
Also, I know
Florida, right?
I was just in London.
On here. What's that?
No, sorry, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, I don't think Dan or anybody from the Foo Fighters on here, but I know he tested positive at their Forum show, and they set up like an outside console remote camera thing so he could still run the show.
I just came back from London where nobody was wearing a mask anywhere.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
I'll
be curious to know if boosters have any effect on anything, because we're just about to get to the point where boosters are being released. I know that Pfizer is supposed to be in a couple of weeks, and it'll be, you know, frontline workers first, and then everybody else, because it's supposed to be 6 to 9 months after your first one. Johnson & Johnson's targeted for October, November, is what I heard. So it'll be interesting to see if that affects anything.
I need it for my kid. My kid's 10 years old, and he was at school again 3 weeks ago, and there were 6 cases within the first week. So I'm more interested in them lowering the age from 12 to 10, or at least 8 years old, for them to get the testing done, because if not, I'm going to have to pull them out of school. But my son, my ex-wife, and her boyfriend actually had COVID, and he was around me. So my ex-girlfriend and I quarantined for 14 days and never got it. And there is a COVID test sitting on the counter over there. But I'm much more concerned about the kids at this point. You know, we're following protocols here. Our governor is very, very good in terms of following the protocols. But this Delta variant, you know, it's just, if we need to get a booster, we need to get a booster. And what does everybody think about the so AEG and the other one now are doing the app that you have to prove that you've gotten vaccinated, or they're doing rapid tests on site? Has anybody else heard about this?
I mean,
our festival this
What
past
app?
weekend, Clear app. Everybody uploaded their information into Clear, and that was
Yeah.
our scan when we walked in.
Chris
And you-
McMean, wasn't that what we used in New York for the Martin demo? The Clear Up?
Yeah, that was, we did, I forget the name of the test, but yeah, I have like a whole pack of test kits that I still have from when we did the Martin open house in New York.
And there was some app I had to download also that had nothing to do with the New York State vaccination app, but was something had to do with that event. I think it might have been the Clear app.
No,
So-
you don't have to use
Who
the
would have
Clear
thought
app.
that Clear that gets us through the airport line would wind up turning into a COVID information app?
Yeah,
I just picked it up to get through the airport.
I think it gets you to the airport quicker, that's for sure.
So I have a funny recent experience. The going into from Fort Lauderdale into Canada, you had to jump through some hoops and, you know, pretty typical stuff. Considering Canada had just opened, it wasn't that difficult at all. You had to get an app and you had to put your information into the app and stuff. But going into Prince Edward Island, where I had to go, and that's a whole nother story that I'll tell another day, but I had to go into Prince Edward Island, and you had to do this thing called the PEI pass. And that was a lot of work. I mean, that was like, wow, you know, you gotta like just jump through all kinds of hoops. And then you get tested when you land in PEI, and our flight didn't get in till like 1:30 in the morning or something. It was delayed. And so, yeah, I mean, that was kind of a long day and stuff. And they test you, and then within 2 hours, they call you if you're positive. If you're not positive, or if you're negative, they don't call you. You don't hear from them. So we didn't hear from them, of course. But PEI, like someone else just said, you know, there was no masks. I don't think I saw a mask the entire 4 or 5 days I was in PEI. And but I did see on the news at one point, you know, that they were stressed because there were now 4 cases on the island, or 4 new cases, or whatever it was on the island. So yeah.
My understanding is Hawaii is the most difficult. Even here in Vegas, the testing facility that we were going to at UNLV was very specific in stating that that test would not get you into Hawaii. And I had my associate lighting designer planning to take his whole family to Hawaii 2 days ago. And it just became too much of a pain in the ass to get into Hawaii. So they went to Disneyland instead. So
Eric Loader, didn't you just recently go to Hawaii?
Yeah. Yeah, they only have approved labs, a few approved labs that they'll let you use for your negative test. So they limit the labs that they'll accept basically Hawaii doesn't want you to come there. They don't want tourists, they don't want anybody. They're discouraging visitors. Where's Bob
Did you
Harmon,
have
by
to
the way?
quarantine once you got there, Eric?
No, we had a negative test, so we were fine. If you're positive, they won't let you on the plane. Well, I I guess guess we know which labs are doing the best job of lobbying the state of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Wasn't Canada testing upon arrival also? Marcel,
No.
did you have to test
No,
in
just
quarantine?
no, just PEI. You don't have to. So coming into Canada, you either have to have a negative test within 72 hours or a positive test between 14 and 120 days. And then a note from your doctor basically saying that you are symptom-free and released to travel. And
I mean, with Hawaii, you couldn't just go on a negative test. You had to be vaccinated also.
yeah, same in Canada. Same in Canada. So
Marcel?
what?
Oh, I just wanted to say, because I'm working in the arena again, what they're doing at Amway Center, because I think that's interesting. If you work there, no matter what you're doing there, you have to be vaccinated. You're going to have to be vaccinated. And there's a couple tours, I think, there's one coming up to Harry Styles where nobody's going to be allowed in the building if you don't have the vaccine.
Mhm.
So
that's happened here in Vegas as well. Essentially, for the stadium, last time I checked, everyone must be vaccinated unless there is a medical issue. We just opened the stadium, I think 2 weeks ago for our first game, and then Garth Brooks opened the stadium. But I believe that everyone has to be vaccinated.
Yeah, a lot of bands are doing it as well. Like I know I have a friend out on Dave Matthews, and he said that they're requiring vaccination of anyone coming to vaccination or a negative test, anyone coming to any of their shows anywhere. So I saw them in Florida, and that wasn't the case in Florida, but in Florida they were. There was like a VIP kind of thing near the backstage. Like if you guys know the Shed in Florida, that little room where the band usually comes out and does a meet and greet was set up like a bar, and you could hang out and the crew were in there and stuff. And you had to be fully vaccinated to get in there and show your vaccine card to get in there, and they put a wristband on you and stuff. So
I thought
Yeah.
that was illegal in Florida. I thought there was a state law you weren't allowed to mandate vaccines.
No,
Well,
that's,
The
that,
governor says that, but he's an idiot.
Hasn't the
Yeah, well-
governor been fining certain school districts and certain venues and places? Well, I don't know about venues, but
I don't know if
what
we want
I
to get
heard
into
on the
political stuff here, guys.
well,
You know,
political or
that's-
not, every now and then
Yeah.
I will tune into the news in Florida
Why
from
wouldn't
my
you want to do
app,
that, Marcel?
and I think
What?
he was fining Broward County School District and Dade County School Districts for
No,
not for
he-
requiring
okay.
masks for their kids.
He tried.
So-
He tried. They
He
fought,
tried, but he
and
got sued.
they won.
No,
Yeah.
I thought the cruise ships were fighting with them over vaccine requirements.
They were fighting with them too. Everyone's fighting with them.
But
Right.
DeSantis lost, he lost all four major counties: Broward, West Palm Beach, Broward County, Dade County, and Hutchinson County, which I believe is in Tampa. All four of them sued him because he was attempting to hold back money from the superintendents, and they all won.
Yes,
So
yes.
DeSantis is a problem because DeSantis wants to split the Republican Party. and-
Anyways, guys,
All right, see,
Guys, can
now
we
you're
please
now
stop?
you're crossing the line.
No, I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
Just let you
We can
know,
talk about-
my father lives in Florida, so I've been going through all.
I
of
live
these-
in fucking Florida. I live in Florida. Few of us live in Florida. We understand what's going on in Florida. But, you know, the thing is, there's always 14 sides to each of these situations, right? So, whatever.
Yeah,
Is
well,
what it is.
Marcel, I think the point is there's some governors that are doing things in certain ways and other governors that are doing things in other ways. And we're just pointing out differences. I mean, we've got
Yeah.
a new governor in New York now, this lady that took over from Cuomo, and she's kind of, put down the, masks and this, that, and the other thing. Each state does things differently. That's where we are in the United
No, I completely
States of America.
agree. I completely agree with that. Completely agree. So,
Eric Loder? I can't see the attendees.
oh, really?
Eric,
I'm here. I'm just multitasking.
no problem. I'm
Like
on my
all
phone.
of us.
Eric,
I just
did
wanted
the
to-
Trojans win
swimming.
last week?
Eric, I just wanted to say with Protron Eclipse units that we used this past weekend were unbelievable. They survived all the rain, a hurricane coming through, and they looked fantastic. Thank you for that.
Awesome. Glad it worked out. It looked great. Looked great. I watched some of it. I'm not familiar with most of the artists, but Justin Bieber looked awesome.
Yeah, it was an odd lineup.
Has anyone used the machines that, I mean, because I had a demo with, I believe, GLP, and another demo with another company that was coming out with fog fluid that was supposed to eliminate the virus in the venues. Has anyone had any experience with these machines yet?
Yes, I also have a bridge in New York that I would like you to purchase. We're taking small deposits first.
Oh, Guy Smith is about to light that next month.
Very good.
The Kosciuszko, yeah. No, actually, Yoshim and Me, there's a props company in Brooklyn called Yoshim and Me that's been experimenting with it with the Broadway houses. I have no idea where that went. They've been doing that for 8 or 9 months. I can't imagine it's as efficacious as you'd like. So.
And nobody has sprayed this thing in a theater with fabric and wood, metal, and tested the scientific efficacy of it.
There was something I saw. There was something on YouTube I saw of a company that was working on that, and the guy that was, saying that this was going to work, but just getting the FDA approvals for that is going to be 10 years before we get any of that approved.
Yeah.
Well, the company that I asked for the company that told me that they were doing it, I asked for the cut sheets. I needed to see the numbers, and those numbers were never sent to me. So I was just curious if anyone had come across those.
Dave, it's literally vapor.
I know.
It's vapor.
Yeah, they sent that. they sent that stuff for us to test, and we couldn't find any positives out of it.
I just put some hand sanitizer in your fog machine, see what happens.
I did that
I think we
already.
kind of do. Yeah, we kind of do, don't we? Isn't that why that Froggy's Fog or whatever started making sanitizer? They went, wait a
Oh,
second,
hey.
this is the same shit.
This is really important. If you bought Froggy's Fog, like a gallon of it, and just left the jug somewhere, the shit eats through the plastic after a year.
Oh,
I went into a closet last week, and the entire gallon had leaked out onto a floor, and the plastic jug had just disappeared. So now
Well,
that we're
that
a year into this,
mice will chew
Plastic,
at the plastic.
plastic's biodegradable. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
And we're now washing our hands with this stuff, right?
it was fine
Awesome.
after a month, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
important.
the bottoms of them, like they completely, the bottoms of them fell out on the one I
Yeah.
had as well.
Yeah, it's really good. It's just great.
I'm using a Froggy's rack mount right now, and so far I'm completely unimpressed. I want my base hazers back, but you know, the Froggy stuff I don't really trust.
Hey, how many
but-
people are selling the? How's that UV disinfectant shit doing? Is everybody selling a ton of those?
Yeah, it's ACT, right?
Ben?
Mr.
Yeah,
Dalton?
no, listen, it's effective. There's studies from Columbia University and from Phillips that
Yeah.
proves it's effective. What we're seeing though is people aren't, unless the government mandates that people invest in these types of technologies, there's
Right.
no competitive advantage to a venue to being safer, right? So people are putting HEPA filters and UVC in their air conditioners and their HVAC, but no one is particularly investing in the small space products because there's no reason to. There's no incentive. It's like you have a safer space, but it's not like the government then allows you to put more people in it or open when you're not allowed to open other things. So, you know, there's no compelling reason to make the investment for anybody.
Yeah,
So the
Ben, go ahead. Keep going, Ben. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that, you know, the technology's been proven to work. It's just nobody cares, basically, is how I would put it.
Well, Ben, we did a lot of it. We actually bought a ton of UV stuff here at CT.
Right.
And
Right, you had that cable. Yeah.
yeah, we did the test. We did everything in our showrooms in controlled environments. We had specialists come in with the tabs, you know, to measure how it would work out with the UV. And it actually, we saw that, or they recommended to us that unless it was in a liquid form, there was no reason to use the UV. So if somebody were to cough and have like the saliva and it coughed until it dried out, it wasn't hazardous. If it dried out, it wasn't hazardous. So the UV only controlled the wet, I guess, is
Right.
what we would
Yeah,
call it.
it kills the droplets, basically. Is
Correct.
what it brings the air through the UV and it kills the droplets. But again, nobody
The
cares.
droplets
You
can
know,
hang
it's
out
like,
for 2 or 3 hours at least after.
right, well, right,
they've
but
been
that's the thing.
dispersed.
Right, but then you suck them through the UVC, and that, you know, that takes care of them is the idea.
Right.
And again, it does work, but who cares that it works? It's like, you know, Chris is sitting in a restaurant. They're not allowed to increase their capacity because they have UVC. So it's just sort of it's an expense that they're not willing to pay.
Yeah, it's too bad. It was promising. But it's too bad.
Shulman,
It's worked out.
that's good news for Shulman because now you can throw some Shane Johnsworth in the F-100, basically be just as epical.
Hey guys, I got a friend who just came out to visit me, Marino. Tell him he's a dick or something.
You're a dick.
We
Thank
reserved that for you.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben, just out of curiosity, the UV stuff that you guys are using, I mean, how much, from a price point perspective in rental, I mean, how much more is this product?
I don't know the answer to that question. I mean, we don't have anybody who's put a large quantity of it into their rental fleet. So I really don't know the answer to that question.
Okay.
You know, and it depends on the cubic volume of air that you're trying to clear. It can become, to do a large space, it can become quite complicated.
Yeah, that's exactly what we saw as well. For sure. It in a very small room, we could clear it out in a few, an hour and a half. We're clear. But in reality, if nobody was sick and nobody was spewing, and I hate to say the word spewing, it would be done in 2 hours.
Make sure we heard it.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, but what about all the problems you had with using the UV stuff? Like as far as just burning cables and.
We actually burnt board covers. So we had audio mixers that were in the same room that we did all of our cloud stuff. And so when I put in the UV stuff, it would actually, that plastic, it disintegrated that plastic quite a bit. Wow. And that was a downfall as well.
Well, that's how you know it's working. That's how you know it's working.
Like saying we're not going to see it in
if
video
it's burning
files.
plastic, imagine what it's doing to the virus.
Yeah, and I had to keep people out of that room, even with the ozone. Even though the UVC is supposed to not have ozone, we still had to clear the room. We had to do the safety protocols. So we'd clear the room, we'd ventilate the room before anybody could go back in. But yeah, we started to see plastic deteriorate quite a bit.
Must be
Yeah, and
terrible
again,
for people with plastic implants or anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It was rough.
What did they do? Did anyone watch the Olympic opening ceremonies? Because I found it interesting on who was masked and who was not masked, and how that all went about. I don't know if this was talked about beforehand, but I was extremely impressed. But it seems like they have this stuff under control, especially in an Asian country where this virus supposedly started. Did anybody have any thoughts on that?
From everything I understand, they don't. They've got a lot of problems over there. So I don't know. Like, I don't have firsthand knowledge. Just I have friends who live there and stuff. And Asia's got big problems.
NEP. So we did.
They don't have as much media as we do, so they hide it well.
So at NEP, most of our guys from Van Nuys at NEP went out and did all the Olympics. So they were there, and I thought when I had talked to them kind of halfway that they would be in a bubble like the NBA that we did for the NBA. They'd be in a bubble. They were not in a bubble in the Olympics, which was surprising. They were tested almost daily, maybe every other day. But there was no bubble for the Olympics at all, which is surprising.
That's very surprising.
It very is, and I was shocked. So they would all go back to their hotels. Then they would, fill out the form. Yes, I don't have any symptoms. They get tests randomly or every other day, and they came back healthy, which is surprising. But I guess it was going on through the Olympics the entire time.
Well, we had a couple of Olympians that actually had to pull out of certain events. I think in volleyball and a couple other ones where they had to pull out of events because they had gotten COVID.
Yeah, they had actually sent double our crew, what they thought was our crew, just to make sure that we could cover if anybody got sick.
Okay.
Anybody else been on tour?
I'm about to go. I've got Doug Eater, my roommate, is on Foo. Foo just went back out, and my other roommate, Cheese, is prepping in Nashville for 21 Pilots.
I just got back. I just got off of Rise Again. Started in Cleveland. The band wanted to do an underplay. This was end of July, beginning of August, and it was crazy, man. Not one mask. And we did the Beachland Ballroom, which is like maybe 300 capacity club. It was butts to nuts like the old days, and not one mask in the crowd. That was fun. And then smattering of masks as you went through the states. The whole backstage protocols were changing as we were on tour. The Live Nation crew had to test every day. We didn't have to test at all, our crew, but we didn't have any no guests allowed backstage. It was a very different kind of tour. Anyway, that's my story.
No, I mean, I haven't heard anything from Doug. He's been out on Foo for the last 2 weeks. I haven't heard any issues. And Cheese is prepping in Nashville right now for 21 Pilots. And I haven't heard any major masking issues or anything like that. You know, we got to keep up, guys. I mean, we're the example, right? We talked about this a year ago. We have to provide the example. Is at least the way that I think about it. And I have a mask that says I'm smiling.
The Jackson Brown Tour is handing out, I understand they're handing out 95 masks for all the countries on tour. I know they're doing it up in Paso Robles.
Well, I think it's the new, it should be the new swag, bud.
Yeah, right.
Right? I mean, we don't get swag from the companies anymore. But masks, I think, I mean, how long do you guys think we're going to be masked?
Forever.
Forever?
Forever.
Forever.
In certain cases.
I mean, I'm gonna break the rules whenever I can, but you know, like seriously, we're gonna wear a mask for the rest of our lives, or are we just gonna? It's a weird world, man. I think we should make hay while we can, because I think this whole thing's cut down again next year.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you?
I just saw, based on way that I see, like it's not like Olympic events. I'm talking like a regular tour. Yeah, we're not. It's not the techs. It's not us that's going to be the problem. It's going to be the people. You know.
Well, that was why I was worried about going out to Lost Lands, because it's an 80,000 person 8-stage nightmare.
And then don't go. You know, I mean, that's the good thing is if we're all adults, we all have options. You know, you can tour, you can not tour, you can go to a restaurant, you can not go to a restaurant. I mean, that's the way I prefer it, to be perfectly honest, is that things are relatively open with some sanity in place and people can make good choices, hopefully. And if they make bad choices, you know, bad things might happen. You know, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So
Chrissy Light's requiring, as I'm sure, you know, Chrissy Lights is requiring vaccinations. I have not attempted to put a spoon to my arm. But you know, we were all required to put in our vaccination card once Chrissy Lights came back on board and started sending us on board stuff.
It's the same with us.
Yeah.
You have to, if we're hiring you, you have to have the vaccination, unfortunately.
You know what? But Chris, here's the thing, like, you know, as much as Herrick's going to think I'm crazy for saying this or whatever, I think it's actually okay that companies make their own rules.
And it's clients.
And that venues make their own rules, and that restaurants make their own rules, and that people make their own rules. I think it's all okay. What I'm saying is I don't necessarily agree with some of the government mandates, perhaps, but I do agree with whatever a company owner or a business owner or a person decides is the best thing for them. I think it's a good thing, you know?
Yeah, and ours is
no need to argue about that.
No, ours is driven by the clients. They don't want anybody that's on site that doesn't have a vaccination, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that becomes a mandate.
Marcel, by saying that, that means that the speed limit of 55 miles an hour, I can completely ignore.
But that's a ridiculous comparison. You know, it really is. It's just a ridiculous comparison.
It's wrong. That's wrong.
Let me ask a question. Would you get the like, the only reason I got the vaccination was because I was required to work for the company.
Me too.
We are creating a two-tiered society. It's worse back home in Canada. I'm living in Portland now, but Oregon's pretty bad. But we're creating a two-tiered society where if you don't get a government mandated needle in your arm, you can't do all these things. And this isn't the same, like everyone says, because science, but this vaccine's only been out for a year. It usually takes 10 years to do these things. Oh, it's magical mRNA and all this new technology. You know what else?
Marcel recorded all these a year ago. Go back in time.
Vaccine.
Yeah.
The government has not mandated the
I've been
vaccine.
involved with research for 20 years. since I was in college, and they were working on mRNAs back then. So stop it with the 1
But
year.
Andrew,
bullshit.
but Andrew, it's not mandated by the government for you to get the vaccination, or you already have.
Exactly.
It's our clients are saying, as our clients that pay us to go do the job are saying, we have to have vaccinated personnel on site. So it becomes it's more commercial, I guess you would call it, right? Because now we're making money. It's not government. It's
And
livelihood.
that's the difference. And that's the difference with the speed limit argument. If society elects a government that wants to make a vaccine mandate, then there's going to be a vaccine mandate. But that's not the case in this country.
Correct.
A very well said.
Very true, Ben.
And to Marcel's point about
You're not agreeing with
individual
me.
businesses. Well, really, no, you made a very good point, which I happen to agree with, Marcel. I'm not being belligerent.
No,
I'm
you're
only
being
adding
awesome.
I'm only
Anytime
adding
we're on
to
the
that.
same page, it's like a cheers to you,
Yes.
Mark.
Well, cheers and thank you. And we are on the same page on a lot of things. And I think you would agree to me that the business person's right to mandate what goes on in their business or on their tour or whatever should not be met by violence and belligerence. People just should opt out and not attend.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. If concerts give you the heebie-jeebies, don't go to a concert. I mean, we all
Exactly.
have
If
that
you don't
option.
want to eat it, you don't
We all
wanna
have
eat
that
it
option. Hey, Ben.
indoors, don't go to a restaurant and eat indoors. Go to one with an outdoor patio.
It's just unfortunate that the last administration politicized this, which never should have been politicized.
That's a fucking load of bullshit, to be perfectly honest with you, because the current administration has politicized it. The one before would have politicized it. Politicians are going to politicize it, period.
Okay.
You know, aren't they? I mean, politicians are going to politicize it because you've got 50% of the people on one side and 50% on the other side. So you're going to dive in and politicize it.
Yeah,
they do.
But it's just
Haven't we been living in a world where everything has been politicized for at least the last 20 years?
100%. No, it's a perfect point. I mean, of course it's politicized. You know, just like everything else, Afghanistan's politicized. Anything where you got some people who agree and some people who disagree is going to be heavily
The
politicized.
Vietnam War was politicized, and that was 50 years
Legalized
ago.
marijuana, abortion, you know, gay rights. All
Yay!
of it is politicized.
Yeah.
So,
She's got a baby next month. Is she? Yeah. Yeah. Baby girl.
But unfortunately,
Stephen, I can hear your voice. You have your mic on. Stephen Vitale, you have your mic on. I can hear your voice.
Morales.
So funny. He's
Yeah.
having a conversation with someone.
It's
Mute him.
just unfortunate.
Don't you have the power to mute him?
I did. I just did.
Hey, Ellen. So now that NAM has pushed back, what are you guys thinking right here? I know that Eric, just finally put his booth in a prime location, and I have two booths that I'm
We are
supposed-
definitely having a show.
We are, for sure.
Yep.
I'm
I
definitely
mean, unless
coming.
Las
So
Vegas,
you- whether you
unless
have a
Las
show or not,
Vegas
I'll be
tells
there.
us otherwise, we are moving forward.
So what do I tell my two clients that want me to design a booth for them? Do I say,
Go
we go
for
big?
it.
Do we go big or do we go conservative?
Well, that's up to you, but I'd go medium.
Medium.
Chris, I would.
What's their
Chris, I would-
budget, Chris?
Chris, I would tell you to go big, and I would probably ask Mr. Loader on what their plans are for their booth. I know that I'm getting email updates from Chevet and a couple of others that are planning on doing full-size booths.
Well, Eric never would hire me to do his booth because I'd blow his budget. The two companies that I do have something going on with, they are skeptical at best right now.
Mr. Dearson, haven't you been tasked with finding our watering hole for LDI? How's that going? No, Patrick?
Looks like
I
he's
think
in a
he's-
watering
I'm
hole.
in it. I think he's in it. He's in it.
He's in the watering hole.
Happy hour replacement for LDI, Patrick? I
So-
thought you were finding us a
so-
new
The
bar.
Bartender's a little slow, but
Hey, you
So
got a
Harry-
couple of months.
so-
You got a couple of months. You got a couple of months, dude.
So Herrick and I have been doing recon
recon.
And by that, David means Eric's been doing recon. Dave sent me to like a swingers bar somewhere that had nobody in it. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, we're trying to find a place. Circle Bar is completely gone. It's tables. They moved all of the gaming tables into the middle of it. Circle Bar is completely gone. The second Circle Bar is a straight bar, not in the circle. So Eric and I have been talking a little bit.
What are you talking about? What's
I would love to. I would love to find a place locally that we can support, and not, feed a bunch of money to one of these big mega corporations. It'd be great. It'd be great to find a place that
There is a great little. There's a
Firefly. I agree with Patrick. We got to go to Pahrump or Henderson. Pahrump or Henderson.
I mean, tiki bar that's in a strip mall.
We have one by our office that's really good, and there's also one by the house in Pahrump that's really good.
There was this
They
great
open till
old
they
British
serve till 4 in the
pub.
morning.
Yeah, I
don't
mean, Frank's
Oh, yeah.
Tiki Room is too small, I think. That's the old one. That's the original one. And then the new Tiki Bar is way too small to accommodate us. I believe that one year we did a concert at Firefly. If I remember correctly, we took over Firefly and we put a stage out back.
Yes, we did.
I think that would be someplace to bark up, which I can probably know, Chris.
That place
but,
even go there.
I mean, we could even do it in our warehouse. It's 100,000 square feet. We're huge.
Too far. It's
Do
too
whatever you
far.
want.
It's too far. You gotta have
Are you
something.
going to be open till 4 a.m.?
Oh, we could do it like the old Martin days. We can take buses down there all day. It don't matter.
Yeah, they try that
What's
with
that-
Cornwall all the time, and it sucks.
Oh, but
What's
that's
that,
horrible. That's
What
horrible.
about hogs and heifers?
Well, I mean, I remember when we used to do it at Cinelli's. I think one year when Concerta was at Cinelli's, we actually did it before Cinelli's got acquired from PRG. But we want to keep it close, obviously.
It's
but
gotta
Hard
be. It's
Rock-
gotta be. It's gotta be 10 minutes from the convention center. It's gotta be close to the convention center.
Absolutely.
What's that place in Old Town that
downtown
has all
Downtown.
the fireplaces in it?
Peppermill?
Old Town. Oh, you're
Peppermill?
talking about the.
Peppermill.
you're
No,
talking
that
about the,
place, it has a garden. It has a garden in the backyard.
the Peppermill.
It's all like,
No,
is it
downtown
Peppermill?
near Fremont Street.
We might as well just try and do it at World then, right, Eric? The new casino where the Stardust was.
Resorts World.
Resorts World.
But that's what
I
I'm
already
saying.
have
I don't. Let's not give a bunch of money to some place like that. Let's go
Well,
someplace
See,
more
Eric, that's the
organic.
thing. That's anywhere that's gonna serve all of us until 4 in the morning and have food and accessibility is.
That
gonna
is
be
important.
a mega thing.
I think we go to Eric's.
You should just call
Well,
it and go to
Peppermill is
Tommy
open
Rockers.
Isn't the Peppermill open 24?
Tommy Rockers, Patrick, would be a really good one. That one, we're actually going on the 2nd for one of our employees passed away a year ago. We're going to do.
That's not a bad idea, and I know Tommy because he's from Miami. So that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, he was just in the shop with us last week, so that would be Tommy Rockers would be a really good one.
Where's
The
it
only
at?
problem is it's further away. I mean, it's over the highway.
Yeah, but it could hold us. It could hold us.
Eric, did you go to the Artisan?
Was the Artisan, yeah, that's the swingers bar that's behind 2 strip clubs on a dead end street, right?
Got
a library.
It's on Strip Club Road, but they have an outside deck
perfect.
as well as the inside bar.
Yeah, it's a dark, dude.
Okay.
I mean, I realize you get around, but no one's
Yeah.
going.
That might not be a good one for LDI. It might be a good one for side.
Security. That hotel has security with guns out front, just for the general.
I think it also has no electricity in the lobby.
Also true.
But there
have
are
to tell you-
upside down pictures and a piano in the lobby. It's actually one of the coolest designed rooms that I've seen. But
In the old days, the
It
Cirque du Soleil crew used to
appropriate.
hang
It
out
literally,
there. It is
David,
so
I
fun.
walked in there because you had recommended it, and I was like, "Where the fuck have you sent me?" And it was there was a cigar convention going on. It was a private convention. They let us walk in, and I was like, "Oh, this is amazing!" Because I'll go to a cigar convention any day. But it was this tiny little, it's a beautiful library bar. If we had 40 people, I'd say absolutely for a private event, but for what we do, we're not able to handle it.
But did you go outside?
No, the place was closed. There was nobody there.
Does it have to be in a casino? Do we have to be this in a casino?
Tommy Rockers. I
Okay,
agree with Patrick.
I will bark
Tommy
up.
Rockers.
I will bark up. Or Chris, do you have Tommy's number? Because I have his number.
No, I do. He was just in the shop last week. So.
Okay, talk to Tommy.
24-hour
and-
food, 24-hour liquor, a
Yeah.
huge space,
Yeah.
and you could actually
And
put a
he's a Dol-
band in
and
there.
he's
if
a
someone got
Dolphins fan.
ambitious.
He's a Dolphins
Do they have any lighting? Do they need some lights?
I'm sure they could use lights.
I think, I haven't been
Patrick,
in for a
Patrick,
while.
will you design it for us?
I haven't been in there for a while.
Already assigned rates for
but-
days.
Our receptionist, her band plays there weekly.
Cool.
At
So they must
CP
have
Las
lights.
Vegas. Yeah.
Get it
So,
done.
yeah, we can make sure it
I'm only
happens.
suggesting this because I live around the corner, right?
Yeah, and so is our office. We're good.
Literally live around the corner.
So how far is that from?
You can walk.
From Patrick's apartment, he can walk.
No, how far is?
Honestly,
Right.
Patrick should
Right.
just host the party. Circle bar at Patrick's every night.
How far is that place from?
Party at Tommy Rockers.
God, somebody has a wicked echo. How far is it from LDI?
I'm looking at that right now. It's on Dean Martin, so
It's next to Patrick's house.
I vote Patrick's house.
I think Patrick should just book a bus and get us all over there somehow. And
Either that or we
should
go to
rent a
Caserta.
house and turn it into
But
a bar for the weekend.
it's not that far. It's a 10-minute cab ride.
We can build a better bar than any bar that exists.
This is true. We should go to Caserta's. He has the outdoor space
hanging his
and
tree.
the tree house. Yeah.
It's off Flamingo, right? On Dean Martin, Tommy Rockers. Hello? Yes?
I
no?
hear you. Everybody else went away. They all died.
No, it's off Tropicana.
Posted it on the
It's
chat.
right by Patrick's old place.
They're back.
Yeah, so
We can
between
all look in the
Tropicana and
chat.
Flamingo.
I'm not gonna debate it much.
Yeah.
There's a cute little bar at the Palazzo. I was thinking of doing a little drinking thing one night. They got a cute like leather chair place there at the Palazzo.
Yeah, but
Too
Chris,
too
if they
swanky.
can't handle 400 people drinking until 4 a.m., it's
Yeah,
not
too
the, I mean,
swanky.
that's not the goal. Going out for drinks we can all go out for drinks in groups of 10. That's
Eric, there might
but-
not be 400 people. I don't know. Like, who knows how many
Tell
people
that to
are gonna
Ellen,
be out
all right?
drinking?
Bite your tongue.
See?
I hope there's 4,000 people. I hope there's 20,000 people, Ellen. I really do. We're all hoping for the same thing. Trust me, not just your income. But I don't know that I'd count on 400 people in the bar. That's all I'm saying.
I'm pretty sure we could fit at least a couple hundred in that bar.
Yeah.
And also remember, guys, folks, you're counting on all these other places to be empty. Like, oh, LDI can just roll in and take over the place, as opposed to, oh, the place is filled with 250 crazy tourists already that we don't really want to associate with. And I'm not saying the Circle Bar, the Hard Rock wasn't like that either, but at least,
It was definitely like that there.
They had the best prostitutes right there.
Right, it's candy for everybody.
Chris is giving us his rating system. Hold on, stand by.
I'm not even gonna force
Patrick,
it.
did
There's
you,
gonna be
did you
20
hear
of us
me?
there
Is
on
that bar,
Wednesday
is
night.
that bar still open, the Slotted Pig? You're muted.
He gave up.
Yeah, no, that's done.
Yeah,
Let's
the
go.
solid pig. The solid pig. I
Yeah,
haven't heard that. I haven't heard that in a while.
It's
That's
a
a
money
shame.
laundering
It's a
scheme.
shame. That's a shame. That would have been a good little place. Well, I mean, Chris, why don't you hit up Tommy?
I'm getting bored of this topic. I think we should take it offline.
Can we kill the echo too? Is there any way to do that?
I don't know. I can't figure out who it is. I keep muting everyone and I can't find the culprit.
It's like there's a speaker and a microphone very close. to each other.
You're getting bored of the bar topic, but you don't want to go back to anything political.
I mean, do you guys, because as soon as there's opposition, you just shut everybody down, Eric, so. You want to talk about politics? I mean, 90% of your population in New York is moving to Florida, and your governor was what was he, a rapist or a freak show? What was he? I don't know. But you want to talk about Florida politics?
I got something. Let's talk about these politics. What about MA3 politics? Because I spent the entire COVID lockdown trying to learn this new shit, and I liked it, and I migrated all my macros, and I was ready to do it. And I went to program one song for Rise Against, and those fucking phasers killed me. So I went right back to 2, and that means the Rise Against show is going to be 2 for the next album cycle. The One Republic show file is going to say, the Josh Groban show file is going to stay MA2 for the next album cycle. And now that I've toured with the MA3 console, I can tell you all the things I hate about it and how we had the perfect console with the perfect operating system, and they've done nothing but screw it up except for those new buttons, which are awesome. There, I said it in front of all you motherfuckers. You know,
Well,
like,
at least Ben Saltzman isn't on the call.
Well, he was. He just left.
left.
Yeah, he just left.
The guy who
It's okay.
needed
You
to hear
recorded
that.
this, Marcel. You can play it back for him.
Oh,
When
boy.
are you gonna buy the Kansas?
And Andrew, I was with you on
right,
that.
all right.
And I know. I mean, we were in no way ready for 3 mode.
No,
And
wait.
I completely
I
agree with
tried.
you.
I tried so hard. And the phasers, which everybody says is intuitive, I program with forms.
Nah.
I look at the form, and the form is like, it can do anything, you know,
Right.
and I understand it, and I can keep it in time. I can do quarter notes or half notes or eighth notes. And the phasers, with all these steps, it's like, I stopped writing chases 10 years ago. Like,
It's
that-
fucking, it went
It
backwards.
doesn't help me.
It's
So why
modulated.
couldn't they
It's
put the
modulated.
forms in? Why couldn't they keep the forms in and do some other things? We didn't need a UI. We didn't
Nope.
like. I love it. I love the smileys, or what do they call it? The scribbles. I love
Yeah,
the all the extra knobs I was using for inhibitives on because I used that software for the Josh Groban live streams last year, and it was great because I wasn't programming a million effects. But now I'm back to this. You know, I'm back to One Republic and Rise Against, a punk show, man. Like how many cues can you write in one song? And
You know
I
what? Just keep writing them. We have a Grandma 3 that's been in a studio now for almost a year with Hubie, one of our programmers, main guy's been live with it the whole time. And he has a list that you would not believe of changes.
How is Hubie? I haven't seen him forever.
Hubie's doing well.
He actually based the bulk of my effects engine on MA2.
Yeah.
He had it built, and he lent it to me.
Yeah, you just got to write the notes and send it off. Write the notes, send it off, because that's what we're
Is
doing.
that what I got to do? Because I'll tell you what, the other thing is that MVR support was really starting to catch fire. Like I think that is going to work if we keep doing it. But I think the MVR, the way that you can export from Vectorworks and then just load your show up in MA3, and you can all the lights are in the right place and it's visualizing in 3D, and all your geometry that you built in Vectorworks comes over. Now that's a can of worms, because you can load your MA show file with too much geometry, but you can do that on the MA2 anyway if you're bringing your model in. So
with the Vectorworks,
like everything just was working, and it was like I could change shit in Vectorworks and change addresses and repatch all the universes, bring it over, and only the stuff that needs to change was changing. Like they were, I watched it get better and better with each release, but now I don't want to use that software.
But this
There
happened.
is
It happened the last time too, when we went from 1 to 2. All of us were like, I mean, I remember stopping Patrick on the show floor one day and going, dude, the effects engine on the 2. He's like, David, shut the fuck up. I got it. And you know, MA just changes their shit for no reason.
There's
whatsoever.
10 years I have invested in my workflow. Why did they have to take away the one thing that makes my programming style so much fun? You know,
Because
like the
it's
way
German.
I look at that.
Oh, there's more than one. There's more than one downfall on it, isn't there, Andrew? Like there's a couple.
Oh yeah. There's lots of things.
A lot of problems.
The design of the console, I think that screen thing is you have to force it to get it in. And so it's
Yeah.
going to take a lot of rough use. And then you got to remember to put the pins in. I am a console lover, and I take care of my shit. And I opened up the console one morning and I hadn't put the fucking pins in. So like, that's going to get forgot. And if those
Yeah.
pins aren't holding that whole screen down, it's just,
Well, the cover doesn't fit.
The cover's
doesn't
hilarious.
fit when you actually put the pins in.
They need to
All
make
right.
it out of spandex now. Like
Ben
that's,
is gonna flip a lid. We gotta stop this. We gotta stop this right here. You guys gotta take this
No,
off.
but they, at the same time, they need to hear it. I mean, and that's the thing that I've always said to Ben is you got to listen to these people.
Yeah, but we do
If
send
they're
them
pissed
stuff.
off, if they're pissed off, you don't shrug your shoulders and go, you're just an asshole or whatever. You have to listen.
it's about incremental change, I've been using Ableton for like 15 years now. And the UI doesn't change. Stuff doesn't move around. They just make it better and make it better and make it better. And, like we had a big UI change from DOS to Windows and then Windows 95. I mean, now it pretty much everything looks the same, like Mac doesn't make big, they don't make big UI changes.
Could you imagine if Ford put only one radio station in the F-150 and it was jazz? I mean, they stopped selling trucks. Right? You gotta change carefully. It's gotta make sense to your users and stuff, right?
I don't want to. I maybe come across a little bit passionate, and I don't want to put people down because I know that people are working for hours and hours and hours coding, and then engineers are designing shit, and it's like, okay, but it's such a massive change all at once, and then the hardware came out before the software.
And then COVID, so nobody got to use it before they had to throw it out on a tour and stuff. Yeah, so.
Well, no, but my understanding is that nobody is using it in 3 mode. My understanding is that everyone is programming in 2 mode. None of us trust it in 3 mode.
I'm hearing that more and more people.
That's not true. We're trying it in 3 mode. We are using it in 3 mode as well, just to go through the bugs.
So, but with 6 moving lights and some Lycos, right? I mean, you're not
No, we're talking 85 moving lights in a studio that's doing real live stuff. And we're making notes of every issue we have. And one of the biggest ones is we couldn't record our backup. Grandma 2, DMX would not come in and record.
Yep.
So we found lots of issues from day 1 a year ago. But
Eric,
then I would say just get an obsession board and you'd be all good. Right, Eric?
Mr. Loader, just so that you see what's sitting next to me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on an M6 this week.
Cool.
Doing a show. So I'm trying to relearn. And maybe at some point I'll have a conversation with Mr. Hingrich on some things that the software is lacking.
Has it been updated or no?
Yeah, it's been updated. It's Mark Brodlin's desk, so I've got the full M6 out at the ranch, and this is just the wing that we're adding to. But
is it running? Are you running Onyx on that? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I pulled out my my little M Touch that Matthias gave me, and was using Onyx for a couple little things at home, and I was like, this is this is fun.
It's not bad. It's just missing some things that we're used to. I mean, the effects engine is completely different with the waves and the steps and all of that stuff.
It works well. It works really well.
It's a damn good console. I used it for a few years, and it's comfy. I like the Dylos stuff too, and the 2D layout. It's really good stuff. It's really good stuff.
So just so we're clear, the effects engine being different on the M6 is all right, so long as it's not the effects engine going from the 2 to 3.
Right. I was just going to say that too. Yeah.
Ben's defense.
Okay.
So wait a minute.
You win. You get that totally.
On the one and on the
there's no
2.
disputing that.
On the 1 and on the 2, we barely needed to use Matrix. We used Matrix to make grooves. And now the whole effects engine on the 3 is based on fucking Matrix.
Because when you went from the 1 to the 2, you didn't have multi-instance fixtures in your life. And then as technology progressed and the 2 came around, the concept of multi-instance fixtures and the usefulness of Matrix, which a version of which was in the 1, all of a sudden
Right.
became vitally important to your programming job.
Modulators.
So now
Yeah.
moving forward,
Yeah.
same difference. You're gonna have a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
I just gotta wrap my
that-
brain around it.
that you're looking at
now.
Yeah, it's mind fuck. It's not cool. And I don't agree
No,
with
it's
how they
not
did
cool
it,
at all.
but
And I'm surprised that they didn't insult you.
The Matrix makes sense to a certain mind, and I don't have that exact mind. I can
don't
I can
either.
get it a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I see how cool this is. But it's at that point, I'm like, geez, I need someone who understands this to make it useful to me. Yeah, I want to say to your point, Patrick, about the FX engine, you're absolutely right. The thing is, I have so much invested. It's been 10 years since I used that other FX engine, and it's kind of quaint to me now. My problem
familiar
is
with the
that the tool
concepts.
that we are using, the tool that I've chosen to devote all the last 10 years to, decided to totally flip its script. And I'm like, couldn't we have done this more incrementally? Was there not a way? I know they wanted to get away from Linux. I hear all these different things, but could we not have been more incremental and add these things in a
Well, I've got I've got 3 pages of effects. I've got intensity, pan and tilt for 1 page. I've got sine wave color bumps, and I've got step color bumps. I now have to completely recreate that on the 3.
But the problem with the old M2Go, whatever you want to call it, that is now Eric's, the original effects generator was terrible from the Martin days. It was terrible. So now it's like
I was
awesome.
there with Nevitt.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I wouldn't call it.
Once again, gentlemen, going back to what Schulman just said,
Bye, Bob.
you're talking
Bye,
about
Bob.
all of a sudden you have all of this work invested in a show file, and now it's no good on the 3. To be clear, it's not that it's no good on the 3. It can't advance from a completely. You're not going from Mac to Windows with your show file. It's just not going to work. You're going to have to rebuild that stuff no matter what.
Yeah, but they're telling us you have to go from Mac to Windows, as opposed to just keeping their product evolving. That's my problem with the whole thing.
So how did you guys go from the Series 1 to the Series 2?
That was painful as well.
Painful.
I waited until it behaved just like the 1 did, because all my tricks on the 1, they eventually got in there.
So what have we learned? Progress is
as soon as
painful?
there's- Say again?
Have we learned progress is painful?
It is, but unfortunately, it's German process.
I have days left in my 40s, guys. I know there's older people on this, and there's maybe not as many younger people on this forum, but you know, how many times do I have to relearn my gig? I really got good at it, you know, and then now I got to relearn it.
Yeah.
It's more. That's
Just keep
and
the old
Patrick,
software.
I understand what happened.
Keep
10
the old
years ago. I
software. Keep the old software. I still got my Martin version of M2Go.
I
Right,
can use the
you
2
got
software
comfortable.
until the 2 software can be saved as a 3 and have everything all work the same, then I'm in.
Which is all
And
patch. Right
that
now, only
happens
patch,
eventually.
right now, only patch comes into the 3 from a 2 show file. I believe that that's the only limitation.
Just an
So-
FYI, it's taken me an hour and 25 minutes. Dearson is the culprit. It's you.
He's got a speaker hanging
You're
out
going off
outside of the
swimming
pool.
pool or something. I don't know, but you're the culprit. You're the echo. Josh, where do you get masks that are this big?
That's huge, Josh.
Josh has the biggest masks. We're like, this is a lot of material.
So what?
Oh, really?
So what sells them? Yeah,
XXL or something?
yeah the
They-
XL
They used
mask,
to make
whatever. Yeah.
bras, and now they make masks.
Yeah.
That or most people think it's my grandmother's bra.
Josh's face is a deco.
Yeah, that's
Where you
good.
at?
I got the
Hey,
so
Josh.
what masks.
Josh, where you at, man?
Let's make a deal.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Nice.
I see headset on, so it must be working.
So,
You know, we'll get the 3 figured out at some point. I mean, you know, it's going to take a while. If I remember correctly, from the 1 to the 2, the 1 software was on the 2 at least for 2 years before all of us got comfortable enough to move to that.
you know, I've been speaking a shit ton with Ben about this, Ben Salzman. And one thing I will tell you is they do care. They are
Oh, I know.
obviously putting in the time and effort to try and get it right. I think some of the changes they made might have been, you know, a little,
Too much.
you know, like AJ said, I mean, you shouldn't have to relearn your gig every couple of years or whatever. I mean, it's been probably 10 years for the two, or what is it, 8 years?
10,
Yeah.
I think. Patrick.
So-
Well, and also
No, I
don't
kinda
forget, it's
gotta-
only
I
been,
kinda gotta
it's only
relearn-
been 4 years. So I mean, come on, it's only been 4 years.
Yeah. I got to relearn my iPhone every time I get a new one. So, or every time they do new software, but that's not my living. Well, it kind of is, but yeah.
Well, but Eric, I will admit, sitting on the M6, I like the software. There's just some stuff that I want to talk to Matthias about that I know is in, because Brodling, I know is in constant contact with him. But it is certainly not the original Maxis that I was on the team with Mike Nevitt. It's definitely moved forward.
Now you're just
but
name dropping, Dave.
No. I didn't mean.
I'm
to
kidding.
do
I'm
that
joking.
because-
Dave, that
Because
console
me-
only did 500.
Because Matthias completely changed the console. I mean, it's,
Well, I can
the
tell you,
software-
you know, after 2 years of, or is it 2 years, maybe almost 3 years now of having to manage 10 software developers,
Mhm.
it is not easy.
I can imagine.
And I think MA's probably got 2 or 3 of the amount of those of that as far as software development teams. So,
Yeah.
you know, every 10 years or so, you have to basically rebuild the product from scratch if you want to go to the next level, right? So you build it for a processor at this level, then technology advances, you got to rewrite the software. You can't just keep putting Band-Aids on it and building on top of the building. The foundation won't support it, right? So you have to rebuild the foundation every 10 years
Makes sense.
ish. And that's a lot of work. And it's work that doesn't earn you any money.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it kind
So-
of, because you're charging 30 times what the hardware is worth. So, you know, I mean, it earns you money, obviously.
What's
But
the
I'm
MSRP on
sure,
the M6?
I'm sure after a few beers, if I was to have you in private, Eric, and say, would you do it again? You might be like, I don't know. You know, that's a tough business, you know, the software and consoles and, you know, it's all a tough business, and you make one mistake and everybody moves to the Android phone or whatever. Right. So, yeah.
Well,
Brutal.
Eric, what's the MSRP on the full M6?
Well, we don't have an M6. We have the NX4, which is, you know, the top console right now, and that is, I don't know, 12 grand. So
12 grand?
Whole
Yeah.
different price point.
Wow.
12 grand?
Holy shit.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, we're not chasing the big console market yet. You know, because we
Has
know there's
anyone-
some things. We know there's some things missing for you guys that, you know, we're just not going to play in that world right now. We're going to keep developing, keep moving forward, and you know, down the road we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm doing a theater show. I'm doing a musical, so I'm doing a single cue list show.
I mean, you could do 64 universes out of the console, right?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, we had no problems with that. We had no problems getting control of their systems out at the ranch. But it's a single cue list show, and things like Moving Black and you know, shit like that. So I don't have to write mark cues. But that's an offline conversation. But I'm enjoying playing with it.
LDI. Are we in a good place or a bad place as far as numbers of exhibitors, numbers of people attending? Like, you know, first of all, like I should probably have an offline conversation with you on, you know, what can we all do to help get more people there? I haven't booked my flights yet, nor have I actually registered for the show yet, but I'm coming, I promise. Your mic's
let's
off.
hear it.
Mic's
Let's
off,
hear it.
Alan. Your mic's off.
You mute me?
I was shutting everybody off trying to find
No.
Pearson.
You muted me. Okay, so anyone who's an exhibitor like Eric should have gotten an exhibitor newsletter that has a code or how you get the code for a free floor pass that you can send to everybody in the world. So
Yeah.
all exhibitors are being asked to send their code out to everybody so they can register for a free floor pass, which we do every year.
Yeah.
And we had a sort of a flash sale for about 10 days of free floor passes, because normally it's $25 now and then 75 after October 15th or something.
Yeah, I saw that.
We-
I saw those
we-
emails.
We sent out, and we got about 2,000 people. signed up for the free floor pass because obviously free is good. So that's good. So I think there's over.
How many? 2,000 people?
Yeah.
That's good.
I think there's about, including exhibitors, speakers, regular attendees, I think we're up to about 4,500 people at this point, which is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I do have to admit that sometimes the people who take the free floor pass, you know, if they get a job, they're not going to come, obviously. But they want to. There's a lot of interest. It always happens right after Labor Day. People start calling and they go, well, I got a free floor pass. Now I want to add something. I want to do this. I want to do that. How do I upgrade my registration? So there is a lot of activity and I think it's going to be a good show. You know, it's the first one, the last one, you know, it's like we got the year cornered.
Yeah.
Ellen, can I bring my 10-year-old son?
Absolutely. All you have to do is go online and there's a child badge. It's free. And he just can't go off on the floor without an adult. 16 and over, they're free. 15 and under, they're supposed to be with a parent or another adult.
Right. Now, 3 years ago, I had this conversation with Marianne, and they would not allow him on the floor. And then
Right,
I
but there
believe-
were so many people that wanted to bring so many kids that we figured, okay, if they're responsible for them, fine. What we don't like is, you know, 6-month-old twins in a double wide stroller.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know. I get
I mean,
that.
they're not going to get a thing out of it. Your 10-year-old is probably going to have a ball.
My 10-year-old had a ball. Actually, Marianne actually allowed it 2 years ago. And I want to show my 10-year-old son what I do for a living.
Exactly.
And introduce him
Absolutely.
to my friends and
Yeah.
things like that.
Well, if
So
you'd
do
like,
it-
I could just send him this video, David. Just give me his number. I'll text him the video of this call and he'll know what you do for a living now. And with whom?
He was actually out with me at the ranch the other night programming.
Perfect. Hey, guys,
Yeah,
I got to
just
jump.
go
I
online.
got a friend I haven't seen for 20 years who's sitting here waiting to talk to me. So
All right.
I got to
But
jump.
David,
Thank you all.
he just needs a badge. So go online, register him. The child's badge is free. And there you go.
Awesome.
Hi, guys.
Guys, see ya.
Good seeing
All right,
everybody.
thanks,
everybody.
Marcel.
Good seeing everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.
See you next week.